Check, 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 check. Okay.
Just a minor announcement before we begin with the valedictory. We will be distributing certificates and the photographs after the valedictory is over at the registration desk.
Good afternoon, Professor Bradshaw. I hope we are audible and visible to you.
Yes, thank you very much. You are.
Thank you. A very good
Yes, you
afternoon
are.
to one and all present here today. We are honored to welcome Professor Asherben, Co-Chair ISKI, and Dean at the Paul Beerwold School of Social Work and Social Welfare at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Professor Monica Roos, co-chair ISKI and professor at Toronto Metropolitan University. Professor Tobia Fator, associate professor, Macquarie School of Social Sciences. Professor Ved Kumari, vice chancellor, National Law University, Orissa. Professor Rangin Pallav Tripathi, Professor of Law and Registrar, National Law University, Orissa. Professor Paromita Chattaraj, Professor of Law and Dean Research, National Law University, Orissa. Professor Birat Swai, Chief Minister, Chair Professor in Child Rights, National Law University, Orissa. Dignitaries of the dais, presenters, participants, attendees, students, and my fellow colleague members. As we draw close to this momentous occasion, I stand before you with a profound sense of gratitude and reflection. Over the past 3 days, we have been collectively engaged in discussions, deliberations, and actions centered around one of the most crucial issues of our time, that is, the rights of children. Reflecting on the insights shared and the commitment made during this conference, I'm reminded of the words of Nelson Mandela. There can be no keener revelation of society's soul than the way in which it treats its children. Throughout our time together, we have delved deep into the heart of this statement, examining the current state of children's rights, identifying areas of progress, and acknowledging the challenges that lie ahead. With this, I now request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Madam, to kindly deliver the welcome address. Madam, please.
Namaste once again. So this namaste is going to be the goodbye namaste. That was the welcome namaste. And as we say that this is true for morning, evening, night. So people on the net who have joined us from distant area and different time zones, again it's namaste. Um, she says welcome address, but for me it's going to be a farewell address because welcome we did when you came, and at that time we were hoping to it to be a successful conference. Today, I believe it has been a successful conference. So thank you to each one of you for having participated, having dealt with all the visa issues, traveling travels, and being here. And I hope that you have enjoyed your stay here. From whoever I've spoken to, I was certainly not able. I mean, there are five simultaneous sessions happening, so nobody has attended all the full conference. At best, we have attended one-fifth of the conference. But whichever part of the conference we have attended, I certainly have found that it was a very, very enriching conference. And as the Indian academic, I believe my colleagues would agree with me that we also need to document a lot of work that we do. We've been doing a lot of work, but the methodology, the articulation of the presentation of the work that we do, that's something I think my colleagues, and I'm happy that we are present in a large number here, we would have all learned from this. Um, I certainly have enjoyed the interactions which have happened beyond the conference as well. And I'm quite sure that everybody has been able to, some of you have been able to renew your contact because you knew each other before, and some of you have made new contacts. But I do hope that you have made more new contacts in Odisha, National Law University Odisha, not only among yourselves. And I've been encouraging my colleagues to interact with all of you. And I do hope and believe that you will keep in touch with us. This is just the beginning of our relationship, but it should not end with this valedictory today. I do hope to look forward to hearing from you, your interest, your continuing activity. We invite you to collaborate with us. We have 21 research centers in different fields. All the information is available on our website. We also publish journals for which we are looking for collaboration partnerships. We can publish together, we can work together, and certainly we can do a lot of from your guidance and your experience in the field in your own countries. I think because it's a multi-cultural conference. People from very different regions have come, from with very different backgrounds have come, and therefore interacting and learning that it is not that if you are from a developing country in an Asian region or if you are from a most developed country in the Western world, the problems are still the same in each country. And that was actually my first learning when I went out first time from India to US. And I had already done my PhD on juvenile justice system in India. And I had my three major findings from my research that we have having problems in our system because there are too many children. 39-40% of India's children were population was children. We do not have a very high rate of education, and we are certainly not the most rich country or even the rich country. With that, I went to America and I found 7% population of children, highest level of literacy, and certainly the richest country. The issues in the juvenile justice system were just the same. Actually, from my perspective, some of them were worse because I thought they should do better. And for me, that has brought me a lot more respect for my own systems. I think that's what the international exposures do. Once you're inside your own country, you only think of the problems we are having and try to meet them. But then when you interact with people from different cultures, different backgrounds, you realize that the basic question in little children is the same. Your attitude toward those other children. All our children and their children and those other children are the problem, not the money we have or the resources we have. It is our attitude which ultimately matters. And I think ISKI has done a great job in providing this platform year after year for so many years. Now this is the 9th one. We're ready to go for the 10th one. Creating a uniform voice, raising voices together at the international platform to bring about happiness, rights, welfare, whatever is the form we want to take it for children, speaking for children. I think that's a very, very important job that this conference does. And sharing of experience is one, but I think that each one of us present here has been involved in improving the conditions of children in one way or the other is something which binds us together and which connects us together. And I see this conference as a beginning of that relationship which will last longer because the children are going to be there forever and this conference will continue to be there forever. Thank you very much. I am taking the privilege of being the host and showcasing one short film we have actually prepared on our intervention in the village. We just revealed it in the previous session, and because there was only two people from the international community, we thought we'll impose ourselves and share the short film about the villagers speaking about intervention we have shared with all of you, and just to showcase and show off actually. Thank you very much.
ନମସ୍କାର ମୁଁ ପିଙ୍କି ବେହେରା ଗ୍ରାଜୁଏଟ୍ କହୁଛି ମୋର ଭିଡିଓ ନବାରେ ମୋର କିଛି ବି ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ନାହିଁ ମୁଁ ବାସ୍ ମୋର ଜଣଉଛି କି ମୋତେ ଏତେ ସାରା ସାହାଯ୍ୟ କରିଥିବାରୁ ଲ ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟିକୁ ମୁଁ ବହୁତ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ ଜଣାଉଛି ମୋର ଏ ଭିଡିଓରେ କିଛି ବି ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ନାହିଁ ଫାଇନାନ୍ସିଆଲ ସପୋର୍ଟ ବି କରିଛନ୍ତି ସାହାଯ୍ୟ ବି କରିଛନ୍ତି କେମିତି କରିବେ କଣ ଆମ ପିଲାମାନଙ୍କୁ ବହୁତ କିଛି ଅପରଚୁନିଟି ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି କିଛି କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଏମିତି ସଙ୍ଗୀତ କି ସେ ଗାଁକୁ ଆସନ୍ତି ଆଉ ଆମକୁ କେତେ ବହୁତ ସାରା ହେଲ୍ପ ବି କରିଛନ୍ତି ଆମର ରେସନ କାର୍ଡ ହଉନଥିଲା ଆମ ସ୍କୁଲରେ କିଛି ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ମାନେ ଏଠି ମଦ କାଉଣ୍ଟର ବି ହଉଥିଲା ସେଠି ମାନେ ଉଠୁ ନଥିଲା ଆମକୁ କଲେଜ ବହୁତ ସାହାଯ୍ୟ କରିଛି बहुत सारा किसी भी हमको शिखेइछंती जेमति कि एबे गोटे कल्चरल प्रोग्राम कले कॉलेज रे हम साही को डकेइले किछिटा शिखेइले हम पिला मानकू जोग दबाकू कहिले जाओ तबरे फिर भी हमको डकेइछंती गोटे जगह को पिला मानकू नेकी जिबाकू डांस परफॉर्मेंस करियाकू तो बहुत सारा जिनिस हमको शिखेइछंती सार भी बेले बेले आसंती साही को सब कथा बुझांती मिस शिख किछि मैडम भी आसतिले हमर एई कम्युनिटी हॉल रे गोटे मीटिंग होतिला हमको सब बुझांती मैडम आसिकी जे बहुत सारा जिनिस शिखेइ भी जल्दी
ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଜୀବନରେ କୁଟୁମ୍ବ ସହିତ ଯୋଗିତ ହେବା ପରେ କଣ ସୁଧାର ଆସିଛି?
हमर बहुत सुधार आसी मैडम जेमति कि हमर बेसी करी कि हमर जो कोन कहले रेशन कार्ड टा हो नथिला सही अधा लोक को होइतिला हो नथिला माने से करैछंती सेटा तापरे एठी काउंटर मद काउंटर टा थिला सेटा बेसी करे बहुत प्रॉब्लम थिला सेटा उठी पारु नथिला आउ कॉलेज सहित जड़ित हेकी बहुत से हमको साहाय्य कले आज का डेट रे सेटा उठी जाइछ आप गाँ लोक बहुत खुशी अछि सेति
ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ। ଆମେ କିଛି ଜାଣିନଥିଲୁ ଆଉ ଆମ ପିଲା ମନ୍ତ୍ରୀ ସାର୍ ଆଉ କେତେଟା ମ୍ୟାଡାମ ବି ଆମର କୁନ୍ତି ମ୍ୟାଡାମ ଆଉ ଆସିକି ଆମକୁ ଏଠି ସବୁ ଆମେ ଯୋଉଟା ଜାଣିନଥିଲୁ ସେଇଟା ଆମକୁ ଏଠି ଜଣେଇଲେ ଆମ ପିଲା ବି କିଛି ମାନେ ଜାଣିନଥିଲେ ଗୀତ ଡ୍ୟାନ୍ସ ନାଚ ଏଗୁଡା କିଛି ଆମେ ଜାଣିନଥିଲୁ ଆମର ସେଠି ସେଠୁ ଆସିକି ମନ୍ତ୍ରୀ ସାର୍ କହିବା ହେତୁ ଆମର ସବୁ ପିଲା ଯାଇଥିଲେ ସେଠି ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ସାର୍ ବି ଯାଇଛନ୍ତି ଆଉ ସିଏ ଆସିକି ଏଠି ବି ପ୍ରାଇଜ ଦେଇକି ଯାଇଛନ୍ତି ଆଉ ଆମେ ସେଠି କ୍ୟାମ୍ପ ଯୋଉ ଷ୍ଟଲ ପକେଇବା ପାଇଁ କି ଆମର ତ ସେଠି ଆମେ ତ କିଛି ଜାଣିପାରୁନଥିଲୁ ଆଉ ମନ୍ତ୍ରୀ ସାର୍ କହିବା ହେତୁ ଆମର ସେଠି ଷ୍ଟଲ ପକେଇଥିଲୁ ଆମର ସେଠି ଭଲ ହେଇଥିଲା।
ଆଜ୍ଞା ଏହା ଯେତେବେଳେ କୁଟୁମ୍ବ ପ୍ରୋଜେକ୍ଟ ଯେବେଠୁ ଆରମ୍ଭ ହେଲାଣି ଆଜିକି ଯେତିକି ବର୍ଷ ହବ ସେଇ ଦିନଠୁ ଆମେ ପ୍ରୋଜେକ୍ଟ ଆସିଲେ ଏତିକି ସୁବିଧା ପାଇଛୁ ମେଡିସିନ ମାଗଣା ମେଡିସିନ ପାଇପାରୁଛୁ କିଛି ହେଲ୍ଥ ଇସ୍ୟୁଜ ହେଲେ ଆମେ ଯାଇକି ବିସି ମ୍ୟାଡମଙ୍କୁ କହିଲେ ଆମ କଥା ଶୁଣୁଛନ୍ତି ଆମ ସ୍କୁଲରେ ଛୋଟ ମୋଟ ହେଲ୍ଥ କ୍ୟାମ୍ପ ମଧ୍ୟ ହଉଛି ଯେମିତି କି ଆମର ଗର୍ଭବତୀ ମହିଳା ହୁଅନ୍ତୁ ଶିଶୁ ହୁଅନ୍ତୁ ସେମାନେ ବି ଉପକୃତ ହଉଛନ୍ତି ତାପରେ ଆଗାମୀ ଦିନରେ ଆମର ଯେକୌଣସି ଅସୁବିଧା ବଡ ବଡ ଅସୁବିଧା ଥିଲା କେବଳ ଆମର ଏଇ ନର୍ମାଲ କେବଳ କଣ ପ୍ରେଗନେଣ୍ଟ ମହିଳା ହଉ କିମ୍ବା ଶିଶୁ ପିଲାକୁ ମେଡିସିନ ଦବା ନୁହଁ ତା ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ଆମର ଯୁବକ ମାନଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ଅସୁବିଧା ଥିଲା ଆମେ କହିଥିଲୁ ଯାଇକି ମ୍ୟାଡମଙ୍କୁ ଦେଖା କରିକି ଆମର ଲିକର ସପ୍ ଏଠି ଗୋଟେ ରହିକି ଆମକୁ ବହୁତ ହଇରାଣ ହଉଛି ଆମେ ଅସୁବିଧା ହଉଛି ଛୋଟିଆ ଗାଁଟା ଏଠି ଗୋଟେ ଲିକର ସପ୍ ପାଇଁ ସରକାର ଅର୍ଡର ଦେଇଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ଖୋଲା ହେଇଯାଇଛି ଏମିତି ମଦ ପିଇକି ବହୁତ ଲୋକ ଅସୁବିଧାରେ ଏମିତି ସମ୍ମୁଖୀନ ହଉଛନ୍ତି କହିବା ପରେ ସେଇଟାରୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ଆମର ବିହିତ ପଦକ୍ଷେପ ମ୍ୟାଡମ ନେଇଥିଲେ ସେ ଲିକର ସପ୍ ବନ୍ଦ କରିଥିଲେ ସେଥିଲାଗି ଡିସି ମ୍ୟାଡମଙ୍କୁ ଅନ୍ୟ ଅଶେଷ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ।
ଆସିଥିଲେ ଆଉ ନାଚ ଖେଳ ଗୀତ ଏଇ ସବୁ ହଉଥିଲା ଆମେ ସେଥିରେ ଭାଗ ନେଇଥିଲୁ
ଆପଣ ଯୋଉ କୁଟୁମ୍ବ ସହିତ ଜଡିତ ହେବା ପରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଜୀବନରେ କିଛି ପରିବର୍ତ୍ତନ ଆସିଛି?
ହଁ ପିଲାମାନେ ସେଠି ସବୁ ନାଚ ଖେଳ ମାନେ ସବୁ କଲେ ଆମେ ବି ଖେଳିଛୁ
ଅନ୍ୟମାନେ ହେଇନି ମାନେ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ସାର୍ଙ୍କୁ କହିଥିଲି କରିବା ପାଇଁ ସାର୍ ଲାଗିଛନ୍ତି ଜଣଙ୍କର ହେଇଯାଇଛି ଆଉ 10-15 ଭିତରେ ହେଇନି ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରୁଛନ୍ତି କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଆଉ ମୁଁ ତ ନିଜେ ଆନ୍ଦୋଳନ କରୁଥିଲି ସେଠିକି ଯାଇଥିଲି ଦାରୋଗାରେ ବି ବସିଥିଲୁ ଆମକୁ ସାହାଯ୍ୟ କରିବା ବୋଲି କହିଥିଲେ କରିଛନ୍ତି ମଧ୍ୟ ମତେ ବଳ ହେଇଯାଇଛି ଆମର ମୁଁ ବହୁତ ଖୁସି ଅଛି।
ଜାଣିଛୁ ଯେ ମୋର 10 ବର୍ଷ ପୂର୍ବରୁ ମୁଁ ରାସନ କାର୍ଡ ଆପ୍ଲାଏ କରିଥିଲି କିନ୍ତୁ ପାଇପାରି ନଥିଲି ମୋର କୌଣସି କାରଣରୁ ବ୍ଲକ ରହିଯାଇଥିଲା ଏବେ ଲ ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟି ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟ ମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁକି ମୁଁ ଏଇଟା ଉପକୃତ ହେଇପାରିଛି ମନ୍ତ୍ରୀ ସାରଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ଉପକୃତ ହେଇପାରିଛି ଯେ ମୋର 10 ବର୍ଷ ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଯୋଉଟା ହେଇପାରୁନଥିଲା ସେଇଟା ଏବେ ମୋର ହେଇସାରିଛି ହେଇଗଲାଣି ମଧ୍ୟ ମୁଁ ପାଇସାରିଲିଣି ସେଥିପାଇଁ କି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ବହୁତ ବହୁତ ଧନ୍ୟବାଦ। मेरा बयस 20 ମୁଁ ପ୍ରୋଜେକ୍ଟ ରହୁଛି ଆଉ ଆମ ପ୍ରୋଜେକ୍ଟ ଆଉ ଆମର ଏଠି ଲ କଲେଜ ପାଖରେ ଅଛି ଲ କଲେଜରୁ ବହୁତ ସାରା ଲୋକ ଏଠିକି ଆସୁଛନ୍ତି ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟ ମାନେ ବି ବହୁତ ସାରା ଆସୁଛନ୍ତି ଆମ ସୁବିଧା ପାଇଁ ଆସୁଛନ୍ତି ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କୁ ପଚାରୁଛନ୍ତି ବୃଦ୍ଧ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କୁ ବି ପଚାରୁଛନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କର କିଛି ଆବଶ୍ୟକ ଅଛି ନା ନାହିଁ ଯେମିତିକି ଭୋଟ ପ୍ୟାନ୍ କାର୍ଡ ଭୋଟର କାର୍ଡ ଭତ୍ତା ତାଙ୍କୁ ସବୁ ସହଯୋଗ ମିଳୁଛି ଆଉ ତାଙ୍କର ହେଲ୍ଥ ନେଇକି ବି ବହୁତ କିଛି ଆସୁଛନ୍ତି ଆଉ ଯୋଉଟା କି ତାଙ୍କର ହେଲ୍ଥ କ୍ୟାମ୍ପ ଭାବରେ କହିଛନ୍ତି ଆମ ଗାଁରେ।
Thank you so much, madam. I want to inform all of you that the social media committee under the NLU Orissa has undertaken 72 hours to make this video live for all of us, which really highlights that children are indeed an important part of our society and we should take part to nourish them, to enrich them so that we have a better future. Thank you, madam. Under your leadership, we could do this. I now request Professor Birat Soi Madam to kindly present the event summary report of this 9th ISKI conference. Madam, please.
Can I get this? Is this thing? Thank you. We all heard that Avisi thinks this was an impressive conference. Now, let me tell you with numbers and evidence why we should be collectively proud. And it was indeed an impressive conference. Namaskar, Salam, Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, Jai Bhim. I'm extremely happy to present the conference report. Please keep in mind this is just a snapshot report and it's already a lot. I'm also honored to present the report not just for the momentous occasion it is, but also because of the sheer range and depth of conversations we have managed to achieve in just 3 days. Hosted and co-curated by the National Law University of Odisha, an institution where we do not just strive to make the best law and justice officers, but good human beings and citizens who shape the world we want to be. The 9th Conference of the International Society for Child Indicators, dedicated to the theme of global childhood's critical perspectives promoting theoretical, empirical, and policy understandings, was first of its kind, not just in Orissa, but also India. It took 8 conferences for the 9th to come to Orissa, India, on the sheer audacity and ambition of our VC, Professor Ved Kumari, and our Registrar, Professor Rangin Pallav Tripathi, the NLUO Orissa students, staff, faculty, and the faith of ISKI board. This conference was as much dedicated to the children as it was to the eminent academics, researchers, policymakers, practitioners, activists who've given their life's work to the children of the world. Because as the Honorable Chief Minister of Orissa, Sri Naveen Patnaik ji and Ved ma'am said, and if I can paraphrase it, children are not just the future, but also our present, our shared destinies. And we owe it to ourselves that children don't just survive, but they also thrive. The conference was also topical because we've just crossed the midpoint of the Sustainable Development Goals and revisiting what we are tracking and measuring what matters is absolutely important. The conference was inaugurated by the Honorable Chief Justice of Odisha High Court, Shri Chakradhari Sharan Singh, who is also the Chancellor of National Law University of Odisha. Also present were former Judge of the Honorable Supreme Court, Shri Madan Lokurji, Odisha State Commissioner for Protection of Child, Srimati Mandakini Kar, and UNICEF Odisha Chief, William Hanlon Jr. We also witnessed a heartwarming and iconic teacher-student moment and came to know that our Vice Chancellor, Professor Ved Kumari, has also been the teacher of the current Honorable Chief Justice of Odisha High Court. Imagine the student and the faculty here actually exchanging notes with the Chief Justice about how we've been treated and our experiences with our teacher. The inauguration also saw the unveiling of 3 works of the National Law University of Orissa students and faculty. Fun books, a fun and engaging take
by the students on 11 articles of the United Nations Convention on Rights of the Child for people non-literate in law to build a rights temper. Kaleidoscope of Children, issued through the lens of the youth, a visual project born in the classroom, embedded on empathy and fraternity, the cornerstones of Indian Constitution, where our students became humane first, lawyers second, to gaze at the photos of children less privileged, deprived, and how those deprivations can be challenged and rights restored through legal recourse. Last but not the least, the first ever by law students, the mainstream media scan of 3 legacy newspapers on what and how issues of children are covered using the lens of UNICEF Presswise Media Manual and guidelines set by the A.K. Asthana versus Union of India judgment. Now let's impress you all with the numbers. The conference had 8 themes: essence of childhood, children's well-being and happiness, health, education, food and child well-being, children's freedom of choice, basic rights for children's happiness and well-being, children's access to justice. We had 86 registered delegates from 24 countries representing pan-world, 3 plenary sessions with 9 eminent speakers who are foremost names in the world of child rights. It's been a life-altering experience for many of us in this room to have listened to them and to have interacted with them physically. 25 sessions spread across 3 days, 36 presentations, 30 in-person presentations, 6 online presentations, 11 panel discussions, and 3 poster presentations. The conference was powered by 9 partners. If you are already impressed with the numbers, just the statistics, hold your breath. Listen to the discourse that we set, the knowledge that we generated at the 9th ISKI. Some of the issues that we raised and we are researching collectively are importance of focusing on brick and mortar issues and indicators of child well-being like health, education, food and nutrition, and going beyond those to happiness and children's own definition of happiness. Importance of and method of co-designing research with children and putting subjective well-being front and center. Identifying gender-based violence and its indicators and duty bearers from the gaze of children. You know who all you are who did these researches which have touched our heart. There was a eureka moment when we collectively realized not just nutrition sector, even the child protection sector needs to put adolescent boys and their perspective front and center. Who would have thought that adolescent boys would also be the Cinderella topic, and they need and deserve much more research attention. Emerging definitions of families and well-being or the lack of it, from transnational families to families with separated parents, remarried parents, repartnered parents, half brothers, half sisters, and multiple sets of grandparents, and the legal and policy and protection challenges that throws. Intensive parenting, the method and substance of intensive parenting, and how it plays out in children, and how parents burden their little ones with their unachieved ambitions and insecurities. Anthropometric double burden on children based on National Family Health Survey 5 data sets reanalysis. Children participation and voice and research methods and tools to measure them. The difference between having a voice and being heard, and why the latter matters, and why it needs to be foregrounded in policy and practice. The need to shift the norm from child protection to protecting the children and achieving all the coterminous children's rights. Working with large data sets, cross-continental and international samples, intersectional research methods and new research questions that are emerging, and our own homegrown National Food Security Act embedded on Article 21, Right to Life, and how it ratchets up the imagination and accountability of school meal programs and its contribution to cognitive development, learning outcomes, and life chances. All these sessions unraveled new research methods, new data sets, new lens, policy and practice blind spots, and policy and practice responses that is urgently needed. To borrow a Gen Z phrase, the conference curation was lit AF. Can I have a round of applause, please, Gen Zs? And we are not going to tell the rest of them what is lit AF. Yeah? I can and should perhaps go on, but in the interest of time, I need to wrap. We also opened Odisha in our own little way to the world, brought the world in with a cultural evening dedicated to the rich, diverse cultural heritage of Odisha with the Odissi dance, Sambalpuri dance, took our delegates to Puri, Konark Sun Temple, and Raghurajpur and presented them with Odia artifacts. The conference delegates also had the opportunity to visit the National Law University of Odisha's neighborhood community at Brajabiharipur, Baba Tilak Nagar, Valmiki Nagar, and also see this phenomenal short film. Um, uh, this is all under the aegis of Kutum, the NLUO flagship outreach program to build active citizens, empowered communities, and an effective state, and to establish the proof of concept of child-friendly communities. I would like to end with Chidamanda Ogiche, the importance of telling diverse stories and the importance of living diverse lives. And here at the ninth ISKI, I will not be wrong in saying we brought our diverse lives, our diverse lens to co-author global childhoods. Thank you so much for doing this all together.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I hand over to Professor Tobias Fotor to make the announcement for the ISKI Awards. Sir, please.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the wonderful session so far. It's just been really very stimulating, and congratulations to you all again. So this is our opportunity as a community, as the ISKI community, to recognise ongoing achievements, to recognise impact, and also to recognise um, emerging scholars through our awards. So it's a kind of a token of our expression of community, um, through recognizing excellence in others. So we have three awards that we give out at each conference: the Alfred J. Khan and Shirley Cameron Award for ongoing and lifetime achievement. We have the ISKI Impact Award, which we awarded yesterday, and we also have the ISKI Award in honor of Christina Lacroisel. So what we'll do now is that I will ask Asher Benaria to come up, and he will say a few words about the Alfred J. Khan and Shirley Cameron Award and announce the winner of that award. Okay, over to you, Asher.
It's it's a great and double pleasure or triple pleasure to introduce the award in honor of the late Alfred Kahn and Sheila Kammerman. Sheila is still alive. For the following reason. First of all, I have known and I've even been lucky enough to work a little bit with Sheila and Al, and as did Jonathan, which I'll say a few words about him in a moment. And anybody who is involved in the comparative research on children's welfare, child well-being, know that Sheila and Al were the founding parents, the founding mother and the founding father of any international comparisons of children's welfare way before anybody else even started to think about those issues. In one of the meetings we were attending together, I was then a young student, Al Khan told me that he started working on those issues immediately after he came back from World War II, and some of it even done before that. So really, it was natural for ISKI to say from the beginning that this is going to be our first award for anybody who's doing meaningful international comparison research. And now I'm moving to the biggest pleasure, because really in the work that I have done and among the ISKI community and the ISKI founders, I don't think anybody has done a better international comparative work than my colleague and friend, Jonathan Bradshaw. The only pity here, Jonathan, is that you are not here, so we could not have a toast together, but as I promised you, we will do it in York sometime soon. It's also an opportunity to share with you a private secret that Jonathan, even though he's only getting younger all the time, just celebrated his 80th birthday. So congratulations, Jonathan, from all of us. There's nobody, nobody that I could think that is more deservable, and I am there to say that Sheila and Al would have been very proud to hear that their award in honor of them is given to you. So I will show you the award, Jonathan. We'll make sure it will get all the way to York, so it will be in the place that it needs to be. And we are giving you the floor to say a few words, Jonathan. We are waiting for you, Jonathan, to speak.
Thank you very much indeed, Asher, and greetings from a bitterly cold and flooded York. I'm, of course, greatly honoured to have been given this award. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
yes, yes, we hear you very well. Jonathan, we hear you.
It gives me a special pleasure. It is the Card and Commonwealth Award. They were both great heroes of mine, both professors at Columbia University in New York, which pioneered and set an example for comparative studies. I was a disciple, friend of them both. They were very influential in the founding of the International Society for Child Indicators. I owe a debt of gratitude to them, but also to a lot of other people, too many to name. But I must mention a few. First, ISKI itself and its inspired leader and pioneer, Asher Ben Aria. I have greatly benefited from the association with many ISKI colleagues, from conferences like the one you are attending, from the participation in the Children's World Studies, and from access to the Journal of Child Indicators Research. But my involvement in child indicators research began a little before the foundation of ISKI, thanks to UNICEF, and particularly the Innocenti Center in Florence, now the UNICEF Research Office Research. Their report card series, published annually since the early 1980s, has been extremely influential. Among the many luminaries involved have been Andrea Cornea, Gordon Alexander, Petra Holscher, Dominic Richardson, and Yekaterina Chen. Now their work is led by my old friend, colleague, and a key player in the Children's World surveys, and indeed of ISKI, Gwither Rees. Well, there are many other people I should mention, but I don't want to keep you too long. So I just leave you with a challenge. There is a lot more to be done in comparative child indicators research, much more to be understood, and much more of what we have done challenged. And I leave you with two particular enigmas to ponder. First, we've been studying the subjective well-being of boys and girls in the UK for over 30 years. And boys have always had higher levels of well-being than girls. But recently, in fact, coincidentally with the introduction of social media, the gap between boys and girls' well-being has been closing. And I don't know that anybody has explained why this is. Second, I've recently been working in Albania for UNICEF. Albania is a very poor European country with high upward migration and rapidly declining fertility. It's also the only country in Europe with no financial support for parents with the cost of raising their children. Thus, it has very high rates of child poverty. So why does Albania come consistently towards the top of the league table of child well-being in the Children's World surveys? Can someone please apply their mind to that enigma? There are lots of things we still don't understand, but I wish you all a great future for your endeavours in this important field of study. Thank you very much indeed.
Colby. Thank you, Asha. Thank you very much, Professor Bradshaw, for the speech. So yesterday we also awarded the ISKI Impact Award, and just to remind you, that was given to our friend, colleague, Robert M. Gorge, for the scope and magnitude of his work in improving the lives of vulnerable children and families through a unique combination of data science and service innovation over the last 35 years. So Bob can't be here with us because he's gone to see tigers somewhere. So good on for George and for Bob and his wife for doing that. So our third award is the Christina Hunter Kreisel Award, and this award is given to emerging scholars who embrace the spirit of Christina Hunter Kreisel's work in terms of undertaking qualitative work or work on questions and issues around multiculturalism. Now, Christina is inspiration, was a friend and inspiration to us all, and she was tragically taken away from us far too early. So we honour her with this award. Christina's work motivated us in the way that it was always done with an open heart and with theoretical and empirical rigour. It was a rare combination to see, to observe. She tackled very difficult questions around inequality, of justice, in very difficult to research places. She always embraced new experiences and was always learning from others through her own research activities, through her engagement with people in various different contexts. As a result of it, she mentored many of us. And she did that not by only showing leadership, but just by being a friend, by providing sometimes poorly timed and difficult advice, but always wise advice. And always through her sense of good humour, and that made working with her always an absolute pleasure. One of the legacies of her work is the Children's Understanding of Wellbeing study, which continues today. It's a network of researchers which is growing around the world, and really it's inspired by her approach. Not only the theoretical interest, which was touched upon today in the plenary. Thank you very much, Professor Sabal, for raising those issues, but also in the way that we organise and coordinate that work. So, I am absolutely honoured to award the Christina Hunter Kreisel Award to Lisa Fisher, and so I'll invite Lisa Fisher up here now. So Lisa, and let me say a few words about Lisa. Professor Kumari, would you mind? So, Lisa is a PhD scholar whose doctoral work focuses on young people's discursive relationships. So Lisa's receiving this award today not only because of the achievements through her work, which focus on children and young people in a digitalized world, but she's also, I would say, for someone who is still within the early part of her career, is already a mentor. With Stella Metz from Beckley University, they've developed their own emerging scholars network that they embody the spirit of collaboration, of democracy, of openness and trust, things which actually Christina really embodied in her own practice. So the future is bright. So thank you so much, Lisa, and congratulations.
Thanks a lot. I wanted just to say thank you for considering my work for that award. I am very glad to be here and I'm very honored, and it's a pleasure to receive that award here at the conference. And I would like to, I would like to emphasize that Christina's work very much inspired my work. Christina's critical thinking and also Christina as a person kind of inspired myself, understanding myself as a researcher. So I am very proud to receive that award here, and I would like to point out as well that I think it's very important to experience the support here in that ISKI community as well through that very warm atmosphere as an emergent researcher. And I would like to point out that for me, it always has been very important to and very valuable to have that exchange of ideas and collaborative work in the network, in the Children's Understandings of Wellbeing Network, and at the ISKI conferences, and of course in the Emergent Scholar Group as well. That is very valuable to have a space there and to exchange ideas and work together. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Professor Tobias, and congratulations to the ISKI awardees. With this, I now request Dr. Monica Roos to kindly make the announcement for the 10th ISKI conference.
I'm going to use it this time. Okay, so I'm actually not going to steal the thunder here. I'm going to invite Dr. David Rothwell to come and join us here. Professor Rothwell, will you please make the announcement?
Hi, hi everyone. I tried to get Monica to do this for me, but she wouldn't bite. So here we go. I did develop a slide and a little and shared a link, but my name is David Rothwell. I'm from the US, and that gives you some hint to where the conference will be in my hometown of Corvallis, Oregon, at Oregon State University. And I will say, while I'm here, it will be a tough act to follow here what has been done in India, and you know, the wealth of cultural experiences you've had that you've given us, as well as the hospitality. But we're already working on an exciting program and want to invite you all to join us there. So thanks a lot. I don't know if I is there.
Can we have that slide and that video? Okay.
Yeah. So there are the dates on the screen. There's my contact information if you have, or it's gone. Anyway, it will be publicized, as you know, and you know, just really want to extend the invitation to all of you, both colleagues and friends that we know and that are new. Please take this opportunity to come join us in Oregon and to learn more and advance this important work. So, thank you.
Can we see the video next? Excellent.
Corvallis is everything you thought it was, and delightfully different. In Corvallis, you spend your days immersed in the outdoors, hiking, biking, and experiencing everything our beautiful agricultural atmosphere has to offer. From a true farm to table experience to happy hour with goats, or check in downtown and walk to everywhere you go. From amazing restaurants that source ingredients grown in this area to boutique shopping and local libations. Or you can do it all. Visit Corvallis, delightfully different.
Thank you, David. Please consider we have 2 years, or a little bit over 2 years, to build the collaborations and then to come and present the results and get together again. So please come to Corvallis in 2026.
Thank you, Professor Monica and Professor David. We are looking forward to the upcoming conference, and we hope that there'll be more number of presentations from NLU Orissa in the conference. With this, I now want to request to call upon stage Dr. Rishika Khare, Assistant Professor NLU Orissa and the backbone for the success of this conference, to just share her thoughts and speak a few words. I want a round of applause for Rishika ma'am to please do it, because of her we were successful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This means a lot, truly. Uh, Thank you so much. This was very kind. Um, so, this was around September 2022. I get a random call from our registrar, and so he says that, there's this international organization. Why don't you look it up? Look at the conferences that they've had in the past. Let's make a brief report of what they've been doing, and let's see what we can explore. I had no idea what I was getting into. I did not even sign up for this. I mean, they said that, let's make committees to start the work. I said, okay, let's take the easy one. Let's take PR. Maybe just emails and communications and advertisements. That's all. But then I had no idea that there would be a steering committee and then there would be so many other smaller committees. So I think in the end, I can truly say that ISKI has been very special because I've been taking care of this for almost 1.5 years now, starting from just simply designing the single tabs on the website. What should be even the contact us tab should be there on the websites and things like that. To coming onto the visa issues, it has been a long journey, and I think at the registration desk when I was sitting with all the students, we were, verifying everybody who was coming in, and then we thought, okay, these were the people we were interacting with, and now we are seeing them in person after 1.5 years. So it really felt special and personal that, okay, we have had such a long connection and we now get to see you. And it was such a joyous occasion. Just sitting at the 1.5 hours at the registration desk was so special. And I think Professor Ved has been very, very kind to, give me this charge. And even I was not sure of how big this would become eventually. But I'm really thankful to all of you who were there with us patiently throughout. I know we have also created a lot of chaos in the emails, but thank you for being patient and thank you for coming. And I hope we get to meet frequently in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Rishika. With this, I now request Professor Paramita Chattaraj, Professor of Law and Dean Research, National Law University, Orissa, to kindly deliver the vote of thanks. Ma'am, please.
Hello, everyone. Before I extend the vote of thanks, as we are in India and as Indian tradition goes,
At the end of every beautiful and auspicious occasion, we chant the closing mantra. So I would just like to chant it for you all. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yes. So it is said that the success of a conference can be gauged by the valedictory session. And I see an almost full hall here. So I may definitely say that the ninth International Conference of International Society, the ninth conference of the International Society for Child Indicators was a grand success. As my colleague has already mentioned in the event report, she has actually named all the people who were involved in the conduct of this great event, but the event would not have been possible but for the involvement of some people. So I have to mention the names of some of the people. So I want to thank Professor Asher Ben Arya, co-chair, International Society for Child Indicators, and Dean, the Paul Beerwald School of Social Work and Social Welfare at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. Professor Monica Ruiz Caceres, co-chair, International Society for Child Indicators, and Professor Toronto Metropolitan University. And I was fortunate to be present in one of her talks. She's a brilliant researcher, and we will definitely reach out to you for more collaborations. And Professor Tobia Fatore, Associate Professor, Macquarie School of Social Sciences. In absentia, Professor Rangin Pallav Tripathi, our registrar, who was like the commander-in-chief, and our Vice Chancellor, ma'am, Professor Ved Kumari. She is empowerment personified, and for women like us, she inspires us on a daily basis. So we want to thank ma'am for anchoring, for being the captain of the ship and leading us from the front. We also want to thank our sponsors, the Odisha Corporation, UNICEF, OMC, and Odisha New Opportunities, EBC Publications, Turnitin, Walter and Kluwer, EPWRF, and TransAsian Magazine Company. Last but not the least, I would like to mention the staff and staff of Haruf University and Yuli especially, although she's not present here, for assisting in the organization of this conference. I would like to make a special mention of Professor Ravinder Brad for her involvement with the ISTI conference. Also, I would like to mention here a special mention, apart from Rishika in the steering committee, there is also Dr. Ananya Chakraborty and Professor Sheila Rai, and the whole of NLUO faculty and the staff, and especially the student conference managers and our student volunteers for working day and night along with all our faculty members to make this a grand success. And I would like to call upon all the members who were involved, student members who were involved, just to come up here on the stage along with the faculties. Yes, yes, please run. Do we have Ananya? Yes. All the faculties. Sohini, Kriti, Ayushi from the research team, the PR team. Don't make me take all your names. Please come up. So logistics and management team, the PR and media team, the finance task force, the research team, the local organizing committees. Yeah, yeah. So I have a go ahead from ma'am. So I would just like to take the names in no order of preference. So Professor Sheila Rai, Professor Biraj Swan, Suman Dash Bhattamishra, Mrs. Madhubrata Rai Singh, Dr. Arya Lopa Mishra, Ms. Sonal Singh, Dr. Sudatta Barik, Dr. Mrinalini Banerjee, Mr. Udit Narayan Mishra, Ms. Ayushi Srivastav, Ms. Kriti Srivastav, Ms. Shubhangini Singh, Ms. Rashmi Rekha Bagh, Ms. Aroshika Mohanty, and Mr. Kumar Agna Mukherjee from the research team, the logistic team, Dr. Ananya Chakrabarti, Dr. Itishri Mishra, Mr. Akash Kumar, Ms. Rujitha, Ms. Nikita Parjoshi, Dr. Shohini Mahapatra, Dr. Ankita Gupta, Dr. Akshay Verma, Mr. Vijay Bhaskar, Dr. Mayank Mishra, Mr. Kanishka, Mr. Sikandar. From the PR and media team, Dr. Rishika Khare, Dr. Kumar Kaushiki Brahma, Dr. Mr. Kumarji Pegu, Dr. Tanvi Shams, Dr. Ravi Bhatt, for the cultural, a wonderful cultural, Mr. Santosh Kumar Behra, Ms. Athena Solomon, Ms. Shivani Mamgin, Ms. Shravani Acharya. From the finance team, Dr. Priyanka Anand, Dr. Mayank Tiwari, and Ms. Surya Smita Parida.
And from the staff, Mr. Prashant Kuleshwar, Mr. Rajkumar Pasayat also. And Biju Matthew and Siddharth.
Thank you so much, ma'am. With this, I now request all the guests and participants to keep standing for the national anthem.
Maybe she did it before, ma'am. So a couple of announcements that your abstracts that are to be published will be uploaded on the website. If you are giving us permission, we can share your presentations with all the colleagues here for them to benefit from it. And the recorded sessions, again, if you permit, will be uploaded on the website for everyone to access. Then the certificates will be distributed after the session, and the photograph also will be distributed after the session. Yeah, it's there. Everything is there at the registration desk. So we can now keep standing for the national anthem, please.
Thank you so much.